because, again, you gave up a third for Pickett. You gave up a third, you picked with a third for Gabriel. You go and grab Huntley because there just wasn't enough quarterbacks in that room. You still have Flacco. It just makes their quarterback room even more convoluted if he comes out and plays really well.
Yeah. You still have Watson hanging out in there too, even though Watson's not going to play this year. Watson's still hanging out in the quarterback room collecting his check.
I don't know why they're letting him be there. Like, just get him out of there. He's not going to be available anyway. Best case scenario, he's available week 15, right? 15, 16, provided there's no setbacks. You already restructured his deal in a way that you could eat it, moving forward, which obviously you drafted two guys. You have to think you're moving on from him. You might as well just be like, you know what? It's guaranteed money. Why don't you just hit the bricks?
Well, just based on the way that Cleveland's handling the quarterback situation, it's almost like they're throwing just darts at a wall and hoping that they stick. Deshaun Watson's the one that's throwing darts at the wall right now. So the last one he just hit Tyler Huntley, so that's who came in.
Pretty much.
Scott says should do it at Dallas for Micah. No, we're good.
Yeah, Pickett's still there. They gave up a third to go to bring him there. So I don't know. It's a weird scenario. It'll be interesting. Especially if he has a really good first half, right? If he comes in and just balls out, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, he shouldn't be fourth on the depth chart. He should be second. He's going to have sections of the fan base clamoring for him to jump everybody and start. So,
right. Hey, I got a question referencing.
Bring the chaos.
I got a question referencing NFL coverage of preseason. I've been streaming it because I don't have NFL Network, but I just heard that didn't NFL Network get bought out by ESPN, or is it in the process of that?
It's in the process. Yeah. So ESPN is getting NFL Network and specifically Red Zone.
Yep.
That deal is somewhere in the $1 to $2 billion range. Haven't seen the exact figure, and maybe they haven't completely worked that part of it out. The part that's not being talked about a lot is it gives the NFL a 10% stake in ESPN. So they're going to get their money. It increases how many games are played on ESPN. So, that's good for them. The downside, the real loser in all of this is anybody that likes Red Zone, because that's about to get messed up because ESPN and Disney, that's what they like to do. They like to take a successful product and try and kill it.
but does that mean if I have the ESPN app, like, for example, so I have ESPN. If I download the ESPN app, I think it's free for me, or for anybody else who has ESPN, you can get the ESPN app for free. Does that mean now that on the ESPN app you can catch those preseason games now, or is that something that they're still working on?
No, it'll be their streaming. It'll be their streaming package. So,
yeah, for ESPN Plus, and then if you have like the Disney Plus bundle, then you'll be able to. So ESPN Plus will be how you can get like the preseason games. Red Zone is supposed to be streamed on Disney Plus only. So the only way you'd be able to get it is if you had the Disney Plus ESPN Plus bundle.
It will simulcast on NFL Network.
Yeah. But if you have the Disney,
so you're gonna have to pay to get ESPN Plus. Even if you have ESPN, you still gonna have to pay for that ESPN Plus, and that would be your conduit to be able to watch those games.
Yeah, you're basically gonna have to pay to watch the NFL. Yeah. It's why before, like 2 months ago, they came out with all the different streaming. If you wanted to catch every single game live, it was going to cost you $1,500 to watch the NFL this year.
Yeah. See, that's ridiculous. How many Americans out there just got $1,500 to throw at? That's ridiculous.
So
there's no NFL games at all this year, and I'm assuming that's just regular season that we'd be able to watch.
Oh, no. There's still going to be your local,
like your Fox and CBS and all that stuff will still be available in your regular Monday Night
Football. Oh, okay. So it's not exclusively going that direction.
Not yet. I wouldn't rule it out in the future because there are some games that, like one of them was on Peacock for the playoffs, right? You had the KC game, right? Mm-hmm. So there are more streaming specific games that you'll have to have the streaming service for. I know Peacock has like 4 or 5 games this year now.
Netflix has the Christmas Day, which is always 2 or 3, however many they put on Netflix that day.
Yep. And then of course all the Thursday nights are on Prime.
Yep.
There's going to be the ones that are exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Yep.
So I mean, it is. It's heading to all the different streaming services as cable starts to die.
What I could see the NFL doing now that they did this is when you have like the regular games on Sunday, you have Fox and CBS has what they call like they're all regionalized. So obviously you get all the Seattle games being out in Washington, Jay, you get all the Cowboy games or Houston games being in Texas, and then I'm always stuck watching Green Bay or Detroit or whoever is like up for like the regional games.
Right.
But each individual channel, whether it's Fox or CBS, they have like 7 games going on at a time, but just based on what part of the country it is. I could see them now that they bought out NFL Network and whatnot. I could see all 7 games being put on ESPN Plus at the same time. So if the game you want to watch is not showing up on the regional end, you ESPN Plus and watch it that way.
Yeah, I mean they already basically do that with the NFL Plus. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now it just makes it more like easier and simple for them to do that.
Yeah, NFL Plus and what used to be Game Pass is exactly how they did that. So I would bet that the ESPN Plus basically adapts that element of the app.
It's cheaper than Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but there's going to be games that aren't going to be included.
Yeah.
Right. So they're basically making it so you have to spend a ton of money everywhere.
Yeah, a ton of money. I mean, it's crazy the amount. If you want to be able to watch things, how much money you got to spend these days?
People would be so mad if they made the games pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to see viewership really drop, make the games all pay-per-view. Because, I mean, you already watched with Peacock for that playoff game, right? It had roughly 10 million viewers less than the rest of the playoff games because it was a streaming only. And people were like, I'm not getting Peacock for one game. There's nothing else on the channel I watch, And this year it's like, okay, it's 5 games or, 4 or 5 games, something like that. Do I care? Right. Do I, instead of getting this year-long thing, do I just go to the sports bar for that one game I wanted to see? So, I mean, I don't think it's going to go. I wouldn't rule it out because even with all the fewer viewers, they probably make more. But
it's crazy though. Yeah, it's crazy the way how much money you got to spend now to be able to watch and view things. It's nuts. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you're, let's say you're the kind of person coming up in the world, young guy, whatever, you're only making, I don't know, 25, 30 grand, whatever. You're not going to have that kind of money to go spend. Or you're living in an apartment. You're not just going to have all that $1,500 to be able to watch your sports or whatever. I mean, that's tailored towards the upper middle class people that $1,500, that's a drop in the bucket. So they don't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm with you when. If it's on Disney Plus or something like that, because I don't have every streaming service because I just don't watch that much TV, but I'll go somewhere else. Like I'm not going to get the streaming service,
right?
Or
I'd rather go to a bar or something
and be like, "Hey, let me log into your thing for this."
Hey, remember that Jason Kelsey commercial where he goes next door and says, "Hey, can I watch some of your TV?" And that dude comes out, "You're still here?"
Exactly. Yeah, and that's right, Rob. I mean, I probably wouldn't skip a Seahawks game. I'd probably just, head somewhere that I know that it's going to be on. But
I mean, I guess that's a good way on Sundays to get your wings, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
there's going to be some games that I'm going to catch it at a Wild Wings or something, unless I get my media credentials, and then I'll be in Seattle. But
Well, that'd be that'd be a great way to be able to watch the game at that point. You get them credentials.
Yeah, I keep trying. If someone within the Seahawks organization happens to be stumbling across this show, it'd be really cool if maybe you guys ever responded to emails. It'd be rad.
Careful, bro, because if he does come across the show and he sees that, he might say, "This guy's a jerk." Delete.
I mean, am I a jerk, or is it the fact that you've ignored 30 emails? Who's the jerk in this scenario?
The thing is, since in his office, he goes, when he gets to about 48 emails, yeah, then I'll set him back up. So you might be only 14 more emails away before you hit the golden ground. Never know.
Yeah, I mean, they just print money, so.
Yeah, it seems that way. I'll tell you that right now. It seems like they print money. Sure, so could print me some money.
Yeah, that's true. The Hawks game would be free since it's our local game.
Yeah.
So that's true. That's true. But yeah, so there's that. We do have three games tonight. Obviously, we talked about the Browns ones first, but then we have the Lions Falcons after the Hall of Fame game. I bet you see some starters in that Lions game.
According to Dan Campbell, it does not look like it. Not until week 2, or technically the 3rd preseason game for Detroit.
Man, there were so many mistakes. You would think that he'd be like, "Hey, why don't you guys button this up a little bit?" Especially since he was like, it'll be hard to keep you guys around if you can't protect the ball. Seems like he'd want to see something else. Although I guess, this is the first preseason game where they're in line with everybody else. So it might be hey, we realize you guys fumbled a couple of times. So get back out there. Let's see what you got.
I mean, he had to put in an Aiden Hutchinson rule this week at practice.
What's that? I didn't see that one.
Well, the offensive lineman could not block Aiden Hutchinson at all. Like, there was 11 or 12 straight plays where Hutchinson just threw the guy aside and pretty much just got to the quarterback without any resistance. So then Dan Campbell was like, we're going to make an Aiden Hutchinson rule that even if he gets to the quarterback can still go through his progresses and get his reps in.
Yeah.
So they basically let Aiden Hutchinson come through, touch the quarterback, and then Hutchinson would just stand there and let the quarterback just take the play and just finish it off.
I feel like there's a Jimmy McGinty. Red means stop.
Yeah, right.
That's just not a good look for the
Forget what I told you. Get the guy in the red. The hold-ins I don't mind. Especially when you think about it for teams like the Bengals, right? Because they're not a team that will forgive fines. The Bengals have kind of shown if you get fines within their organization, you're going to pay them. So you would hold in because you don't want to get those fines. So, I mean, I think some of that is just smart. Protect your money. Like, you're already in a money dispute. Protect your money.
Yeah. Yeah. PSU guy, the PSU. I don't know.
True turn. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, and if you want to do some prop bets, you can do that right here. Oops, wrong slide though. You can't do it right there. You definitely can't do it there, but you can do it. Maybe.
Fire our producer.
Do it here, though. This show is going smooth. To be fair, I got home at 4 a.m., so I'm maybe not on my sharpest game at the moment, but use the QR code here on the screen. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. In case you are not good at betting. And so bet us right here on Coast to Coast.
It's time to be alive, man. I'm
Streamers trying to distribute viruses this morning. Everything is just going off the rails.
It's a good thing it's a Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. It feels like it now. Today really does feel like a damn Friday.
It's
No, it really feels like a Friday. Especially, and I would say I'll speak for all teachers out there. They're definitely feeling like it's Friday.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Rob, that applies to the guys that are holding in and the guys on the show today. I mean, I guess since we were reading
dryers were more important. Oh, whatever.
I guess since we were reading commercials anyway, we might as well do this one since it popped across your screen already. True Fusion Gym, use the QR code there on the screen. Free 5-day pass at any of the 3 locations: Bellevue, Ballard, University Village, Pilates Bootcamp, Yoga Bar, and more. Find your edge, True Fusion Gym. All right.
Is it just me or is it? I think Anthony Richardson has to have the worst luck. I think he went out with a pinky injury or something like that, and now he didn't come back in the game. And Daniel Jones, look decent, right? But I feel like Anthony Richardson is just having a hard.
Most people kind of thought that Daniel Jones was going to win that starting role.
Yeah,
just because Anthony Richardson, he was overdrafted anyway.
Yeah,
it was a draft pick that I didn't really get. They picked him 4th, right?
They did.
And he didn't get a ton of playtime in college. He was inaccurate in the mid-range, short to mid-range passes. He wasn't great at. And then he has a pro day where he launches that 80-yard bomb, and people fell in love with him for that. And it's just like, okay, I guess we're just going to ignore all of the film we have of him playing actual football instead of him just throwing to a buddy in a gym with no defense. Them reaching for him at 4, and don't get me wrong, amazing athletic talent.
Yeah.
But there wasn't enough there for me, if I was a GM, to have wanted to draft him at 4. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. I was thinking he was a 3rd-round pick. And so for him to go 4th overall, great for him. Hey, get that payday. But I was surprised by it. You have Daniel Jones in there now. This is gonna feel weird coming out of my face, but he makes better decisions. And so, we'll see. But I would bet Daniel Jones does ultimately get that starting role week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I just thought it was interesting. I just felt like from an availability standpoint, Richardson has had a really rough go of it.
Yeah, well, it just makes you think of Trey Lance.
Oh, it does.
They gave up a ton. Again, not a guy that played a ton in college. Gets hurt some more. You're just like, man. He did actually look pretty good on, a week ago in the Hall of Fame game. He actually played pretty well. He's in no danger of starting, obviously. They have a quarterback. But, it would be good for him to extend his career if he can somehow stay healthy. But, yeah, I mean, he just hasn't been able to do it. Ultimately wasn't a good fit down for you guys. So,
yeah, it didn't work.
I don't know. That's a guy that you'll be watching this year to see if he's going to be a backup that can kick around the league for a while, or if he's nearing the end of the experiment.
Question. So, staying on the rookie quarterback topic, it looks like for everything I've read on Cam Ward out of Tennessee, it doesn't look like he's had the best of camps. He's had a little bit of a rocky camp with the interceptions, lack of not taking care of the ball. He called the offense mid, which their offense probably is mid. But, again, I always try to keep it in perspective. He's a rookie. It's preseason. It's training camp. This is probably where you do want to make the mistakes. But what do y'all think of Cam Ward in terms of what do you expect out of Cam Ward in season 1?
Not much.
The offense isn't going to help his cause. I mean, their offense is terrible. Saying their mid is actually being generous.
Yeah, I mean, he's not lying.
Their offense is. I mean, they don't have their number 1 receiver who was a bust anyways in Treylon Burks. Tony Pollard went from Dallas to Tennessee last year, and he had his moments, but he still didn't have the year that Tennessee expected him to have. Right now, Robert Woods is their number 1 wide receiver, and he's a number 3 on most teams and possibly even a number 2 on a couple bad teams. So I mean, Cam Ward does not have much to work with at all right now.
No, for sure. And you're right. Maybe Lance will do that, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith arc. Maybe it's the late bloomer.
Geno did disappear for a long time before he wound up emerging over there in Seattle.
I mean, he
you never know.
He started out in bad teams. I mean,
for sure.
Similar to Darnold, like their team was garbage when he got drafted. So now I'm not sold on Darnold. I understand he's our guy here in Seattle, but we've seen 1 year of it. I need a little better sample size than 1 year. So I really hope that the changes they've made to this offensive line work, though, because if it is him under duress, he's not going to be as good as Geno.
Right. Question. So we all know the Jets have not exactly been the best of organizations, but do you think, or especially with the head coaches and things like that, obviously ownership has been terrible with Woody and them. What do we expect out of Aaron Glenn? Do you think Aaron Glenn is the kind of guy can turn this franchise around and get them back to being credible?
Well, so here's the problem with the Jets, right? Is they had a really good defensive coach.
Right.
The offense was a mess.
Right.
Keep the offensive coordinator, that fire the coach. Okay. So you're like, okay, next time around, we're going to, and then they elevated another defensive guy, right? So that made sense. So now you get a new coach, defensive guy. You know what wasn't the problem with those teams over the last 5 years? Defense, right? So do I think they're going to get better by doing the exact same thing? I don't think so. Like, the defense can be good. We've seen that.
Right.
The offense, you think Fields is the guy? Did he just miraculously become a good quarterback? I mean, probably not. So do I think that they can be better? Maybe. Do I think it's like they're going to be a good fit for making a playoff run? Man, I wouldn't hold my breath.
No. I think what could end up happening to Aaron Glenn, and I hate saying it because I think Aaron Glenn is a good coach, and I think he will be a good head coach, but I could see what happened with Tony Dungy in Tampa. What's happening to Aaron Glenn, where Aaron Glenn comes in, basically rebuilds that organization from the ground up, changes the culture, and then they just get rid of them because they haven't made the playoffs, so they're not at the level the ownership expected them to be in. Next head coach comes in and just takes the team that Aaron Glenn built to the playoffs and makes a deep playoff run, like what John Gruden did with the Bucs, where Tony Dungy assembled that team. John Gruden comes in there the first year, and off to the Super Bowl they go and win.
Yeah, it's funny because Gruden always gets a lot of hate for doing that, right? They're like, oh, it wasn't your team. Everybody kind of forgets that the team he left went to the playoffs that year too.
And the team that he left went to the Super Bowl against him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not like he didn't put together a good team.
Yeah. But that's what I think could happen to Aaron Glenn. Like, I think this year and next year, I think it'll be a struggle. But I could see him like in year 3 or 4 getting that team set up to be a good competitive playoff team. But then just because they're not making the playoffs as much as the ownership wants them to get there, they just move on from Glenn, bring somebody else in, and most of that roster stays intact. And then that next coach comes in and gets them into the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, and this, you're setting the bar low. You'd have to be, because when you think of the way the Jets develop quarterbacks, bringing in a guy that needs to develop is probably not in the best interest of a group that seems to ruin quarterbacks. So I just don't think that Fields makes any kind of splash. And so, yeah, you're right. They're setting low expectations because you're almost setting them up to fail.
Yeah. Was Fields coming in there? Was that an Aaron Glenn call, or was he already? Because I remember the timeline. Or was he there before Glenn?
He was there after Glenn. Glenn was hired, I think, 2 or 3 days after the Lions lost in the playoffs.
Right. So Glenn knew what he was getting when he went to go get Fields. I mean, that you, like I was saying, you can't use the excuse. Well, he wasn't a Glenn guy, so they got to give him another year or whatever. He actually was a Glenn guy because he came under his watch. Is what we're saying.
They did have a little bit of lack of options, but. He was available. He was cheap. They're still trying to build a roster.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind the pickup. you just know that he's probably not going to develop into something more with the Jets. Had he gone somewhere else, you could at least entertain the idea where you're like, oh yeah, player development of that team is good. You know, it might finally be what he needs to move forward. But when you look at the Jets, you're just like, yeah, man, it's going to be a long year for you, I think. Like,
right.
Well, no, I mean now the Jets are talking
about Ben Johnson. If they would have got Ben Johnson, I wonder how much, you know, especially now that we see what Ben is doing in Chicago and the culture change and shifting the things. I think they got the wrong coordinator. I think, like you said, I think Glenn's a bad guy, but I think that Ben Johnson would have been more the appropriate coordinator from Detroit.
I don't know. We haven't seen good things from Caleb yet.
That's the thing.
Like,
Ben Johnson made it clear that he was only going to go somewhere that had a young quarterback and a young quarterback that had multiple years of his contract left where he could build a system around him. The Jets did not have a young quarterback because Aaron Rodgers was there. Their only young quarterback on the roster, Jordan Travis, just retired. So they didn't have a young quarterback that was under contract for several years. That's why pretty much everyone said that Ben Johnson was going to go to the Bears or nobody. Because of all the teams that had a head coach opening this year, the Bears were the only one that had a young quarterback with multiple years under control.
Real quick, you know, obviously we were talking Caleb Williams a minute ago. I know this is a way too early prediction, but I'd like to get you guys' prediction on what you think that Caleb Williams is going to be. Do you think he's going to be a bust, or do you think he's going to be a success in the NFL?
I think he will probably be a backup. He has tools to be good. It's just how much is he going to get in his own way?
Yes.
I mean, so when you look at the skill set, he could absolutely be a good quarterback. He could be a starter in this league, no question. But when you look at the things that he does, then, you know, even when he was throwing into the net a couple days ago and, you know, couldn't hit any of the marks, and then the last one missed the net altogether on a 10-yard throw, he comes out frustrated, pouting, and it's just like, that's not really something you want to see out of your leader. And, you know, it's also not like he's a rookie right now, right? Mm-hmm. He's got a year. So you want to see more development on that end of his game that we haven't seen yet. And when you're playing bad enough that your new coach basically yanks your first team off the field because you guys can't figure out how to get set, that again that hinges on your quarterback. So there's a lot of things that kind of make you pause a little bit with Caleb as far as being a great quarterback in this league. But do I think he could be good, effective? Sure. Yeah. But it's the mental aspect of his game that needs to have the biggest improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for a guy like for Shedeur, who kind of had that kind of cocky, not cocky, but you know, that attitude, right, of everything. I kind of like the fact that he's, you know, went in the fifth, went to Cleveland, working his way up, because I think that was a huge thing that's going to be beneficial down the road, I think, in his career.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, occasionally everybody needs those humbling moments, right? And, you know, this may have been the thing that helps his career along, right? I mean, because once he got drafted, he got in there and he got to work. Like, you haven't heard a lot from him.
Right.
The biggest story about him is he got hit for a couple of, you know, speeding tickets. Outside of that, you haven't heard anything. You haven't seen him out here, you know, doing the I'm legendary. Like, you're not seeing any of that stuff. He's just in there working. And that's what you want out of your rookies, right? Get in the building, work hard, earn your spot. So, like, I'm not mad at it. I hope he does have success, especially because it makes their whole situation worse and funny.
I just like the fact that he told his pops, "Hey, don't come here. I got this. Let me do what I got to do." I think, to me, it showed a lot of that he really is focused. That he really is, you know, trying to put all that he has into this and not be distracted by attention things, not trying to be the attention getter, and just doing what he needs to do, and which is focusing on improving his craft. I like that out of short. That really gave me a different, little bit different perspective than what I had him going before he went to the Browns.
Yeah, No, it's going to be a fun path to watch because, again, he is actually really good at deciphering a defense. He just doesn't necessarily – he's not the most athletic guy. He doesn't have the biggest arm ever, but he does make smart plays, right? So that'll be interesting to see now against mostly NFL guys.
Right. But that's very reminiscent to Brady because Brady had a great IQ, wasn't the most athletic guy, wasn't the strongest arm, a lot of dink and dunk passes. I mean, I think Shedeur can be successful just the way he is. Brady did it. I think he can do it, and I think he's got the right. At least it seems like he has the right mindset and right approach to it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is he's not afraid to work, and so that's what keeps you in the league. You always hear about guys who are like, "Oh, I made it because they got drafted," and it's like, no, that's day one. Like you're actually not even really on a roster yet. So once you get drafted, that's just getting your foot in the door. Now the work begins. And so at least he's embraced that end of it. So that'll be fun to watch. We'll get to see him for the first time later today. That being said, we're at the top of the hour. If you are watching on YouTube, we're glad that you hung with us. And everyone else watching, to like and subscribe. It does help us bring our content to you. Other than that, enjoy the games today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see y'all on Monday.